Okay, now I don't usually do these types of videos, but this one just had to be in a video. This is a top 10 Total War titles made by these people here, Tech21 Century. And they're ranking all the Total War games from best to worst, 1 to 10, so they've only got 10 on this list. And I'm going to start this one off with 8th place. Medieval 2 Total War. Okay, right. First of all, you know what, people can have their own opinion. They think Medieval 2 Total War is on 8th place. That's fine, I disagree, but that's fine. But let's take a look at their description of the game. Medieval 2 Total War didn't revolutionise the series. Not at all. No changes at all to the series. Okay, it used the Rome Total War engine, but you know, I think it did actually revolutionise the series quite a bit. Okay. But it did bring a return to pike and shot warfare, and you know, I 100% love the return Medieval 2 Total War brought to pike and shot warfare. The return to pike and shot warfare with Medieval 2 Total War was just brilliant. Now you see how bad it is. Now this is why I'm starting with 8th place. Trust me, a lot of these are in horrible positions, but I had to start with this one, just to give you an idea of how bad this review is. Now, I am 100% the type of guy who's, you know, have your own opinion. I'm not going to judge you about your opinion, but I just don't get the feeling that this person who made this list has even played half of the games. What return to pike and shot warfare? It's like the pike and shot warfare is only a very small sliver of the game at the end. Really, most of it's in the Kingdom's expansion for the Americas campaign. It's less than like 2% of the game. And return, maybe it was in Medieval 1 Total War, but I hardly call it a return to pike and shot. Like, that would not be the main frontline banner I would have on it. Medieval 2 Total War, the return of pike and shot warfare. No, it just gets worse. The recent Definitive Edition upgrade helped with the aging graphics. The Definitive Edition upgrade, or update, sorry, helped with the aging graphics. It had no impact on the graphics at all. All it did was make the DLC, well, the expansion, free. That's it. That's all it did. It just put it all into one big game. No other changes. Oh, it changed the logo as well. Okay, they finally do make a point here. The diplomacy side of the game is severely lacking, but that's just Total War. Can you really mark this one down in particular for bad diplomacy for the AI? If you prefer to manage your kingdoms as a warlord, you'll find a lot to like about Medieval 2 Total War. However, you know, it says if you take an economic or diplomatic stance, then, you know, you'll probably be disappointed. Alright, diplomatic, sure. But economic, I actually do like how Medieval 2 Total War, the economic side does work. That's just my opinion. I'm not gonna, you know, criticise whoever wrote this for the economic opinion, but the rest of it here is just 100%. It's false information, and this is the entire, this sentence here, these two sentences here, this is really the reason why I had to make a video. But that doesn't mean the rest of it is okay. Let's take a look at their full list. Okay, in first place, we have Shogun 2 Total War. I wouldn't put it on my first, but I can understand why some people would. Alright, this is an okay opinion, although this is worded very weirdly. Shogun 2 is the sequel of the first game, but features new content in the Fall of the Samurai expansion. So it's kind of like saying Shogun 2 has no new content, but the new content is in Fall of the Samurai. It's worded weirdly. I think that's just a typo, maybe. I don't know. The Fall of the Samurai expansion brings it in line with other Gunpowder era Total War games. In my opinion, I think it actually takes it much further beyond the line because, you know, I think it did Gunpowder very well. Still, it's a really weird way to phrase it. Alright, this part here, this I agree with. This part here, yeah, I agree with that. Okay, second place, we have Attila Total War. I do like Attila Total War, but it's not one I would put on second place. I think I'd say more like third or fourth. I do like it, I'll put it higher than most of you would, but I don't think it's a second place. It makes a good point if you are a beginner to the series, play another game first. Oh, this is just... Right, so its first point, you know, cities can burn, lots of horde stuff, yeah, great. An endless horde of nomadic tribes are consistently rampaging across Anatolia. Anatolia is sort of like where modern day Turkey is, like, it's that region. I think it's quite bigger than Anatolia. Like, Europe? Yeah, the world? Yep. Well, any word but Anatolia. Why does it specify Anatolia? That's actually probably the safest place on this game. Anatolia. And then it makes actually a really good point, like, yeah, you know, I agree with that. The combat portion of the game is also the most impactful of any in the series. In previous Total Wars, losing a battle means a setback. Losing Attila means the city will probably be wiped off the map. Okay, yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah, I can see that. I thought it was on about like if you zoom into a battle, see the hand-to-hand combat, like that's the best in the series. I did like it, but I wouldn't say it's the best. But it's actually referring to like you've got more to lose in this sort of thing. Still, it's worded weirdly. Number 3, Napoleon Total War. Again, I do like Napoleon Total War. Will I rank it on third place? No. Napoleon Total War is the first game of the series to be focused on a specific general, is what it's saying here. Alexander Total War, does that count as a game? No, I guess they're right, The vast bloody battles that are possible with one of the first introductions to gunpowder warfare is also satisfying. That's just, again, weird wording. What is this review? Like, just call it the second. It's the second one. Just Medieval 2 doesn't count as a gunpowder game, although these people apparently think it does, but this is like something you'd say if you think it might have been the first title to feature gunpowder, but you're not 100% sure. It seems like one of those sentences. You're trying to say something, but you're saying maybe it is, like, you know, using those softer words so that even if you are wrong, it doesn't look too bad. That's what this sentence looks like. Okay, going back a bit now, I've just noticed this. Napoleon gets points for being historically accurate. It doesn't give the game any other praise. Like, the only praise that it really gives the game, gameplay-wise, is its historical accuracy. I guess vast bloody battles count as well, but like, this is the highlight. This is why you should buy it. This is the positive thing about the game, and it only lists its accuracy. Oh, it just gets even worse. There are a handful of DLC My grammar's not good, but still, I'm better than whoever wrote this. There are a handful of DLC experiences for the game that improves the base game. It's all free now, it's definitive edition. Okay, that's point 1. Point 2 is it doesn't improve the base game, it just adds a few units. Excluding Peninsula Campaign, the other old DLC packs were just like extra units. That does not improve the base game. Not really, it's just a few extra units. Like, if it added features, then yeah, I can understand. Like, if it took the EU4 style, yeah. But it doesn't. Oh, okay, but it does correct themselves by saying, but none are necessary to enjoy this entry, yeah. But just saying that it improves the gameplay, just say it adds units or something more accurate. Number 4, Warhammer 2 Total War. And it has a warning that there's a lot of DLC for it and most factions need to be purchased. A lot of the factions though are free, like I can't remember how many, it's like 5 or 6, but you do get free factions as well, so are they counting those as I don't know. Number 5, Empire Total War. I would not rank it on this high again. Brings the series into the Age of Enlightenment and the first true 3D naval combat system in the series. Again, it focuses on the naval combat. No mention at all of the bugs, no mention at all of its launch. It's just, the Navy's good, and that's it. Navy's good, buy it now. Nothing else listed. It's like, I hate to do this type of video because I usually like to be positive. I usually like to avoid mocking, avoid the hate, just have a positive view on everything. You know what, if this is your opinion, that's okay. You can have any opinion you want. I am ginger. If you want me dead because I'm ginger, whatever, I don't care, but this... It's just that not only are the games all over the place, but it's really poorly worded, and my grammar is not good. Like, I poorly word stuff. But if even I can see it, then that shows how bad it really is. And most of the stuff that it's talking about is not even true. Number 6, Warhammer 1. Yeah, you can't read this here. I haven't played much of Warhammer 1 yet, but I do plan to. Plenty of DLC released in 2016 made the game easier to play, but even then Creative Assembly felt the need to start over, and then, yeah, Warhammer 2. Okay. Number 7, Rome 2 Total War. Let's take a look. Okay, it's getting it right here. It was considered the worst Total War in the series because of all the bugs on the launch, but, you know, the Emperor Edition released has helped a lot. This is a weird comment here. I'm not even going to read that, but... Fans also complained that the version of Egypt that appears in Rome 2 appears very cartoonish in nature. Just get those people to play Rome 1 Total War, and then they'll consider themselves grateful. I've never actually, heard of this as a problem. I've heard many issues with Rome 2 Total War. I've never heard anyone complain about Egypt before. Very weird point to make out of all the points. That's a weird one. Oh, now it brings up that Empire was not well regarded at release. Could have done that talking about Empire. It's like you didn't say that much about Empire. Ugh. And then of course we've covered this one. Medieval 2 Total War in 8th place. Of course we've already covered that, but it gets worse. 9th place, Thrones of Britannia. It's ranked 8th. It's ranked Medieval 2 as just one spot higher than Thrones. Alright, makes a good point there. Alright, this I guess covers it quite well with its explanation. That's okay. And then in number 10 we have Three Kingdoms Total War. Why is it in 10th place? Well, you know, it complements it for looking into China, the factions. It hasn't released yet. At the time this was wrote, Three Kingdoms had not released. We list this game as number 10 in this list, not because it's not good, but because at the time of publication of this article, it's not released yet to have feedback for it. Then why put it on at all? If you were to make a top, if you were to rank every Total War game, you will not put Total War Troy at the bottom just because it hasn't released yet. You just put it on the side and maybe have it mention it at the end and say, and where will Total War Troy feature in this, or in this case Three Kingdoms, as an end side note conclusion. Ooh. Okay, now there's one more glaring issue that I need to point out. Where is Rome 1 Total War? Where is it? Where is Rome? It's not on this list. It's not even here. It's just such a weird review, and I'm gonna point out all the problems. First of all, there's no Rome Total War. Like, that, even if you don't like the game, like, I'm not a fan of Empire. I'm not a fan of the Warhammer franchise yet. I haven't really played it that much. I'm gonna get into it eventually, or at least try to. But even I have to give them credit and say, yes, they do deserve at least a spot on this list, especially Warhammer 2 deserves a high up spot. Alright, that's issue 1. Issue number 2, putting something on this list that hasn't even released and just putting it on last place saying, we don't know where to put it, so we'll just put it 10th. Put it on the side as an honourable mention or whatever as a conclusion, or just ignore it altogether. But don't just put it in last place. Ugh. Issue number 9 is the ranking order. Of course, everyone's free to have their own opinion, but this one's just very far out there, and I don't feel they reflect the community opinion at all. Some of them are in a good place, some of them, but others are just a little bit weird. Issue number 4 is how it describes some of these games, especially Medieval 2 Total War. Didn't revolutionise the series, it brought back a return of pike and shot warfare, the DE update helped with the aging graphics. Like, that's just 3 mistakes in the first 2 sentences. It's like I guess there's argument for these points, but yeah, it did have pike and shot warfare. Yes, it used the Rome Total War engine. Yes, this improved the logo. But that's... I'm really nitpicking to try and help them out here. Anyway, that's everything. As I said, I don't do these types of videos, but this one just had to be covered. I do hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a good laugh, as did I. There's like one comment here. This just perfectly 100% sums up this entire list. Is the blood in Napoleon? I can't remember. I think I remember seeing some blood, but it's not the bloodiest game in the series, so whatever. What a bad review. As I said, if you enjoyed this, please do like and share with anyone else who would be interested. You know, don't go over here leaving hate. I'm guessing it's just some person who made it who didn't really know much about Total War, but he had to get paid, so he just put together this list based off Wikipedia searches. I don't know, that's kind of what it feels like. It doesn't even feel like that, it feels like worse than that, but still. You know, of course, don't go come in here leaving hate is what I'm trying to say. Just, if you've got any complaints about this list, just leave it on this video in the comment section, and we can all have a good laugh about it together. I've been MELKOR, and until the next one, goodbye.